Hi Bold Bakers, every Monday is Bold Baking Worldwide, where we feature a recipe from all around the world. We have done so many so far and they've been a big hit. One of my favorite recipes from another country is a Portuguese tart. It's a little tart with custard in the middle and puff pastry on the outside. It is a little taste of heaven. So we start out this recipe on the stovetop. I've got 2 pots here. In one pot, I'm going to add in my sugar, water, and a cinnamon stick. And then in my other pot, I'm going to add in milk and cream. And then I'm going to put these on to a medium-low heat. Let them come to a simmer slowly. So while these are coming to a simmer, we're going to make good use of our time and follow me over here. And in this bowl, I have my egg yolks and a whole egg. And into this, I am going to add in some corn flour. This is to thicken our custard. And then a nice big old splash of vanilla extract, just to add a lovely flavor. And then all you want to do is just by hand whisk those ingredients together until it's smooth. See, like that, nice and smooth and no lumps. So I'm going to check on my pots now. I am going to turn them off because both of these are simmering. So I'm going to leave the sugar pot here and let that cinnamon infuse and let it get cool and have nice flavor. I'm going to take our cream and milk pot, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pour a little bit of it into our eggs. And then with my whisk, swiftly, I'm just going to mix that in. This is called tempering your eggs, and we're trying to make it the same temperature as the milk and cream mixture. You do this so there isn't a kind of a shock when your eggs hit a hot mixture. I'm going to add in the rest like that. Swiftly whisk it. Doopy doopy doop. Sound effects are encouraged. And then I'm going to pour my custard back into the pot. So back now over a medium-low heat, and we are going to continue whisking our custard just so it doesn't overcook and it stays nice and smooth. Make sure when you're making custard, don't walk away. Always be here to stir it so you don't get lumps of overcooked egg. So after a few minutes, you see this, it starts to thicken just like this, kind of hold the shape of the whisk. So turn off the heat, and then we're going to pour in our sugar syrup, whisking as we go. Now our cinnamon stick is still in there, but that's okay because we're going to bring it over here and we're going to strain it, removing any lumps and the cinnamon stick. So this is why you always want to sieve a custard to remove any little bits of cooked egg or whatever might be in there. And then you end up with a lovely, silky smooth, delicious smelling custard. I can smell the cinnamon and the vanilla, yum. Okay, set that over to the side, let it cool down, and we're going to get cracking on our pastry cases. So here I have some sheets of puff pastry. Now this is store-bought puff pastry. You can use homemade, I've got a recipe on my website, or you can use store-bought. Store-bought is usually, like nowadays, very good quality and you get great results. So that's what I'm doing today. So I have a little round cutter here and I'm just gonna cut out my circles. I don't roll out my pastry, I just cut it as it is. And then just fit those little rounds into your cupcake pan. Just like so, pushing the pastry into the corners. When this bakes, you get this lovely buttery pastry and then this soft kind of delicate custard on the inside. Well, you'll see in a few minutes, you'll find out. But look, these are looking good. Now, let's fill it up with our filling. I'm a divil for this because I always do this, but go almost to the top of the pastry. I love to like fill things. Maybe I go a little bit too much sometimes, but just fill it almost to the top of the pastry. I'll meet you halfway. So then it ensures you get a big mouthful of custard and not mostly pastry. You get a good balance of each. So now bake these little tarts off at 500 degrees Fahrenheit or 250 degrees Celsius for roughly 15 minutes or so. And if at that point you don't have a black top like that iconic look a Portuguese tart has, then turn on the broiler and lightly broil them until you get a few little black spots, and then they are ready. Oh wow! So yeah, some got pretty big. So these aren't as brown as I want them to be on top, so I'm going to blast them with the broiler just for a few seconds. So I'm really happy with how these look, even though they're a little bit like black on some, browner on the others, but these are supposed to have that torch scorched top. So like for instance, this guy looks fantastic. and this one over here, and even this one that looks like it's burnt, like that looks amazing. As you can see, when they cool down, they will kind of shrink a little bit. So in a few minutes, I can take them out of the tin and let them cool down to eat them. Check these out, homemade Portuguese tarts, absolutely fantastic and warm from the oven, so enjoy. Oh my gosh. So these little tarts are the whole package because you get a lovely buttery layered pastry on the bottom, nice and crispy, and then you get a nice delicate custard in the middle that has that flavor of vanilla and that little bit of cinnamon that we put in there. They're absolutely delicious. If you have an amazing dessert where you're from, then let me know what it is in the comments below, and maybe you'll see your recipe featured as part of Bold Baking Worldwide.